Congratulations and felicitations.
Okay, here comes the first round.
Boom. And
Jeez, that was just
boom.
unnecessary.
You kidding me? You can't be out of range? What?
Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. Jarl the Appian way here. I've got a replay sent in by Air Runner against Ferox G. And I've been told what to expect. Let me go ahead and put this in slow motion. I've been told what to expect. I think this is going to be a bit of a curb stomping here. We've got Achilles leading Thaya with 627 troops against a Dardanian army of 1,700. This is a classic matchup, one of my favorites from the original state of the game. This is in Truth Behind the Myth mode. We've got a pair of medium chariots. No, I'm sorry, 3 medium chariots. Achilles is in a chariot mount. Ooh, okay, we got Centaur Elders. Don't see those picked very often. 4 heavy Achaean bowmen, and oh no, a Centaur champion, 2 Savage Centaur warriors. That is it. That is the no infantry. Okay. Our opponent, played by Air Runner. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dardanian rabble. Okay, so it looks like unit caps were turned off in this one, potentially. We've got 3 Fearless Swordsmen, Fighter Ravager Hero on foot. There's a pair of Savage Centaur Warriors, 2 Heavy Trojan Chariots, and out here a Centaur Champion. Out in the front is Harpy Fiends, who are already trading fire with Centaur Elders. Looks like the Centaur Elders are actually pursuing this. Let's go ahead and put this into play. I'm surprised the Harpy Fiends are falling back. Maybe they might want to consider just standing their ground and hope that the Centaur Elders charge them. Well, never mind. They're just going to go ahead and turn around and win the ranged engagement instead. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Let's just, yeah, and I think the Thian player here is now recognizing time to run away. So why am I showing this replay? I tell people when they're submitting replays to me, like, hey, give me something interesting. Don't just send me the battles where you absolutely curb stomp your opponent. But this is actually an opportunity to talk about building a balanced army composition. In Truth Behind the Myth mode, and I'm pretty sure also in Mythical, and ooh, this is an interesting charge. Oh, it's going into the mud, though! Those chariots are not going to like this mud! Okay, sorry. There's a lot here to digest. A lot. Oh, yeah, there goes the Centaur Elders. A lot to keep in mind. Yeah, too much infantry for all these Centaur champions to handle, and these heavy Achaean bowmen are doomed. They will not be able to outrun. I'm pretty sure. Let's see, their speed is 29. Yeah, and the speed on the Dardanian rabble is 48. So the rabble can just tie up the heavy Achaean bowmen for the rest of the game. Heavy Achaean bowmen will probably made one-on-one melee engagements, but there's just too much for them to worry about. Here comes all of the Savage Centaur warriors. So yeah, king of this game is mass, and that includes infantry. Like, heavy chariots, really cool unit and all, but if you bring enough heavy infantry, you don't have to worry about heavy chariots ever. Heavy cavalry is a good way to stop heavy chariots, but you can't bring enough heavy cavalry to really consistently stop at an affordable value. Oh my lord. Look at this, a Centaur Champion and a Dardanian rabble just out here in the mud holding down all of this, and then the javelins from the Harpy Fiends. The Arrival of the Hero. Yeah, that's it for the medium chariots. Terrain is also extremely important in Troy. If you've not been watching my channel very long, you keep your chariots, you keep your heavy units out of the mud. Like, look at the statistics on the chariots here. You see the red bars over here? Speed 24, melee defense 5. That's really bad. They're taking hefty penalties just for being in mudded areas, and it will devastate them. And like I said, heavy Achaean bowmen, yeah, they'll beat a Dardanian rabble in melee. Yeah, absolutely. But you know what your heavy Achaean bowmen are not doing? They're not shooting. I mean, I guess they kind of are shooting here. But it's not going to matter for too much longer, because here comes the train wreck. Heavy chariots don't care about your medium mass. They'll just roll you right on over. There it goes. Yeah. So there's a lot to talk about here. You have to bring infantry if you're going to... Oh, hey, he timed his Aristeia, so that's going to make this battle last a little bit longer. You don't want to put a duelist hero in a chariot, because then you lose your ability to duel. And you can always dismount the chariot, sure, but then you have less health pool with which to duel with. Not that... it also... a good idea. I think the logic behind putting a duelist hero on a chariot is so you can easily chase the enemy hero. There's so much heavy infantry mobbing down Achilles right now that Air Runner's own hero doesn't have to worry about it. He'll just go ahead and just punch the horse. Yeah, I'd celebrate that too. And he kicked that guy off his horse. Just watch his hero make a mockery of these Centaur champions. Yep. He's just carving them down one by one. There are still some heavy Achaean bowmen in play here. There's still some Centaur elders. But yeah, so army composition for Phthia. Phthia has some fantastically affordable heavy infantry in their shielded swordsmen and in their renowned Phthian spears. Renowned Phthian spears coming in at 1,000 funds per unit, and the shielded swordsmen at 990. The shielded swordsmen also have the benefit of having javelins, giving you a little bit extra punch in that infantry versus infantry clash, and also a tool to help you out against chariots and heroes in chariots. And also, heavy infantry is going to beat heavy chariots almost, I would say about 90% of the time. A heavy chariot loses to a heavy infantry unit. And heavy chariots are really deadly in this game if you're not prepared for them. Yeah, here we go, the end battle. Let's just go straight into statistics here and talk about other things. So knowing that makes a huge difference in your army selection, right? I mean, there are some guidelines you can follow, but the big thing is you have to have infantry. There isn't a skirmishing unit in the game that will find its value if you don't protect it with infantry. Let's see here. Like, so for instance, these heavy Achaean bowmen, damage causes gold value. That's the statistic we're looking at here. 317, 63, 362. 127. These heavy Achaean bowmen, they, I never pick them, so I can't tell you how much they're worth, but bare minimum they cost like 600. Bare minimum. They're probably like a 750 or 800 fund unit. We're gonna double check this. We're gonna double check my math in a minute. And while their kills were nice, 127 is not. Medium chariots, they cost 750. That might have actually been nerfed. They might be more expensive now. 135, 83, 175. Because you put them straight into the mud. And that's the other big thing to know. Know your terrain types. General rule of thumb. If it's not infantry, it wants open field. If it is not an infantry unit, it wants to be in the open field. If it is infantry, you could really manipulate your opponent's non-infantry units by using terrain. Really, really generic rule of thumb. The major terrain types that you're going to run into in Troy are going to be trees, scrubs, which are the same thing. They have the same statistics. They just the way collisions work in trees is different than the way collisions work in scrubs. And mud. Those are the primary terrain types you're going to run into. Oh, you're also going to run into a lot of tall grass, which is mostly just a speed debuff for non-infantry units and a place for light infantry units to hide, so you can be a little sneaky sometimes. Okay. So, I think the best performing unit for Phthia was Achilles at 1591, which is a good showing, but Air Runner was perfectly content to just feed Achilles, cheap units to fight. He really, Air Runner won in the army selection screen by making sure that he had a well-balanced army. That is key to Air Runner's victory. He had a well-balanced army, and if you put... I'll tell you like this: if you swapped the players of these two armies but kept the army compositions the same, Ferox would have beat Air Runner by playing with Air Runner's Dardania army here against Ferox's Phthian army. Does that make sense what I just said? This is not a matter of skills here. There were poor decisions made in the battle, but even Air Runner at his best would not be able to win with this army against the army that Air Runner did bring. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'll stop harping on about that. Let's see who our battle MVP was, because I don't think it's going to be... Look, it could be Achilles. Let's see if anybody did better. So the number to beat here is 1591. It's only 71 for the fighter after hero. He had nothing to do. 409 is really good. 294 is really good. 946 on a Dardanian Rabble is insanely good. 209, 665, 355, 73. Only these two, Rabble did not pay for themselves, but that one paid for himself 4 times, almost 5 times. 419, 463, 292. These guys didn't have much to do. 805, 999, 200. 936. There we go. Our Harpies are going to be our battle MVP with 2389 damage caused as gold value. Getting it early on by just nuking those very expensive Centaur champions and then staying alive long enough to pummel chariots and centaurs with all of their remaining javelins, which also cause fear. So yeah, bring better balance to your builds. Make sure you have infantry. Skirmishers, especially when you're new to this game, use them sparingly. They're most often going to get attacked in some way or shape or form, especially when you're playing against Dardania. Dardania is known for bringing massive swarms of infantry and cavalry and chariots that you cannot have an answer for every single unit. You cannot stop every single one. So if you bring too many skirmishers and not enough of a front line to defend your skirmishers with, Dardania is going to catch them. Dardania is going to find them and make sure that they don't pay for themselves. All right, so that's a long-winded analysis of this battle. I hope you learned something interesting by watching this video, especially you, Ferox, if you're out there. I hope you don't feel like I was bashing on you too much. I hope you find an opportunity to grow. You did really well with your Achilles anyway. You just made him too expensive. He did not end up paying for himself, unfortunately, with the chariot mount and everything. Even with a really good number like 1591, did not pay for himself. Anyway, so yeah. Summary. Don't put duelist heroes on chariots. Bring infantry, especially heavy infantry, if the option is available to you, and it always is. And don't put units on wheels or on hoof into any mud or scrub or tree, and most of the time don't put them in tall grass either. Okay, I think that's everything. Air Runner, do you have any comments? I'll pin it. I'd love to know what your thoughts were about this analysis, okay? Phew. Alright, ta-ta. I love you all. I'll see you guys in the next video.